Welcome to Hot Boxing Talk, South Africa's very own online boxing talk show. In this week, well, I'm not going to tell you who we're speaking to. We're speaking to the Heat. Heerden, welcome back to South Africa and welcome back to Hot Boxing Talk. The big news around you is that you're fighting on the 22nd of October back in South Africa. It's been a long time coming. Let's talk about that first and foremost.
Obvious, Colin. Obvious. I'm excited to fight back home in South Africa on Golden Gloves. I think most of all I owe it to my fans, the supporters. I haven't seen them fight for 3.5 years. And I'm excited to be here, so you know what, it's going to be a night to remember.
Okay, so let's talk about the Paul Kamanga scenario. Initially, it was said that you were scared. I know that's absolute crap. It's now said that he's scared, which I honestly believe is crap. What's your take on the Paul Kamanga situation?
You know what, this has been brewing for a while now. For I want to say about a year now, if not longer. Back and forth with Rodney Berman, with Golden Gloves, and for this fight to happen, which is an amazing fight. The winner of this fight would be the crowd, because this is an amazing fight. Paul is a talented fighter. Nothing but respect to Paul. We're friends, in fact. But when it comes to boxing, you got to push that aside. I don't believe any fighter is scared. If you do boxing, you're not a scared fighter. So Paul is definitely not scared. I'm definitely not scared. It's just a pity I came here and hoping to nail it with Paul, because that's the fight the crowd wants to see.
When you say nail it, are you talking about physically or metaphorically?
No, I wanna sign the fight and nail him with my fight. That's it, baby. Because this is a fight that the crowd wants to see, so everyone wants to see it, and it would be an exciting fight.
So let's talk about our relationship. A lot of people are a little bit stunned that you at the Hot Boxing Gym training with me now. Basically, let's just talk about our relationship. We actually started our friendship the day you left to go to America.
Absolutely, this is what the people don't know. When I packed my bags and I went to America, everyone was against me, and I say everyone. And Colin was the one guy that from day one just supported me right through supported me, and you know what? We've been coming for 3.5 years now, good relationship, always back and forth.
Yeah, we actually spoke to each other on the phone
always
all
back
the time.
And forth.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel comfortable where I am, and at the end of the day, it's where I'm comfortable at with Collins, and I don't care who says what.
So we're going another route right now. Paul Kamanga hasn't accepted the contest, so we're going another route, and obviously that'll be disclosed at a later stage. But let's talk about you possibly relocating back to your hometown, back to South Africa. What's your feeling on that?
You know what? Like I said, what the people don't understand is, and I want to make this very clear, is it's easy to say stay in America. It's very easy to say, yes, boxing is massive there, yes, the opportunities are there, but what people don't know, what people should know, is that when I went to America, I was signed to a promoter. Everything was good. My promoter passed away. I'm stuck in America without a promoter, so I can be in the gym every damn day of my life, but without a promoter, without backing, you're not going anywhere. And Rodney Berman, Golden Gloves, has offered me an opportunity to get myself back in the top ratings, more than one fight. And if that's the route to go, I got to think of my future in boxing, and I got to get myself back to the ratings. And if that means I got to get back to South Africa and do that, then that's what I got to do. But people's got to understand, I can't sit in America with no promoter, no backing. It's tough. When you go to America, you got to have the backing. If you don't have that, it's a tough world.
I'm going to love you and leave you with one question. This weekend, Leo Santa Cruz goes up against Carl Frampton. The Heat's pick, and why?
Cruz.
How?
I've seen. We might see a stoppage, late round stoppage. We might see a late round stoppage. Frampton has proved that he's been dropped in America, I think twice on two occasions. So he's been dropped in America, and Santa Cruz is a tough customer, and I'm going Santa Cruz. We might see a late stoppage.
It's kind of cheesy. It is the Hot Box Gym. Here is the Heat talking to us right here on Hot Boxing Talk. So we're going to cool things down after speaking to the Heat. I've got the two gentlemen by my side, and let's talk about last week's performance for the unification of sorts WBO and WBC Junior Welterweight Championship between Victor Postol and Terence Crawford. Let me start with you, Cyril. The three of us did favor Terence Crawford to win this fight, but we didn't think he'd be so dominant. Did you? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't see that coming. I think this just proves, as great a fight as Postol is, Crawford is a special fighter. I think he'll be a champion for a very long time.
So let me ask you this question, Heerden. Where do you think his next fight should be? I mean, he's 140. I mean, chances are, you know how it works in America. He's going to move up to 147, but now's the junior welterweight. Where is he? What should his next move be?
I would love him to fight Danny Garcia next. Danny Garcia is not the biggest welterweight in the world, and he could definitely make that fight. It's a super fight.
Well, it's a super fight, but Garcia moved up because he was battling for 140. He's now 147, like a catch rate, because that's a big thing in international boxing these days, catch rate. How do you think that fight goes?
I think Crawford would be too much for him. I think Crawford is just that good. But I wouldn't say Garcia's a fighter. I want to see Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. Now, Freddie Roach was saying that he doesn't think it's a good idea for that fight to be made. Now, do you agree with Freddie?
No, I agree with Freddie, but if you're top rank, you might think that this is a good time to pass the torch, effectively.
So you're saying that Pacquiao could lose to Terence Crawford?
I'm saying Terence Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao, yeah.
Okay, well, and what do you think? No, come on, no, make an opinion. Make an opinion.
I agree. I think Crawford is the future.
So, and he beats Manny Pacquiao. Say it. I want to hear you say it.
I think Terence Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao.
Talking about junior welterweights, Mikey Garcia, if you will, hasn't fought for a couple of years. He makes his debut as a junior welterweight. I remember seeing him fight as a featherweight. The fact that he's moved up, do you think he's a junior welterweight?
I don't know. I think that remains to be seen. Now, I was very surprised to hear he's moved up to junior welterweight. I thought he might be fighting at lightweight at least, or I don't know. But every time Mikey Garcia fights, I think it's a special moment. He's a very talented fighter.
He's one of the most talented fighters in the world. I mean, should he come through against Elio Rojas, which he's expected to do, what's next? Because you talk about junior welterweights. Victor Postel could be in the mix again. I mean, it's not the end of the world if a fighter loses, right?
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if a fighter loses. As you say, Postel would also want to redeem himself coming off that loss to Terence Crawford. Why not? That's a good fight. And it also kind of, if you want to set up a future Terence Crawford fight, it kind of like sets a benchmark.
So we're talking about America. Let's talk about America and South Africa. Chris the Heat van Heerden's back in South Africa, fighting on the 22nd of October for Golden Gloves. Joined Team Hotbox. What do you think of his move coming back home?
Well, I think it's great for the fans. I know he's a big crowd favorite, and for him, obviously, he talked about getting back into the rankings, which is great. We look forward to seeing fights.
Where would you like to see Chris van Heerden in the next year or two?
Definitely fighting up there for major organization welterweight titles, like WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, these sort of things. But it'll take us some time, maybe 2 or 3 fights, and then he's up there.
Well, we welcome the Heat back to Hotboxing Talk in South Africa. Of course, from the two gentlemen and myself, we'll see you again next week. This is the Hotboxing Talk.